So you wanted to know, hopefully the air compressor, can you hear it in the background? I don't know, maybe you do, maybe you don't. Let me go turn that off. So that's got the air compressor off. I don't know if you could hear it or not, but why take chances? We're trying to make a decent video and showing you how to take a throttle body off a Nnbs intake, or Trailblazer SS intake. New body style. That's what Nnbs stands for, by the way. And we got a helper here. You want belly scratches, I know. Does your dog like belly scratches? This one loves them. You want belly scratches? Belly scratches? Oh, you want belly scratches, don't you? Okay, shake. Shake. Okay, let's get started. It's a beautiful day out. You can see the sky. This is the throttle body that you will be removing. It's probably on your truck when you're watching this video. You want to know how. Okay, so let's start off by the first thing you need to do. Disconnect your battery, because there are a lot of sensitive components on newer engines. And if you're doing this as a LS swap, get a throttle body that's cable driven. Don't put an electronic pedal in. Just more components in your LS swap that can fail. But that's besides the point. If you're doing this on your truck, you know, you don't want to change that. It's running and driving. So most of the time these motors go out because they are electric motor in here. Do you hear it? And they need replaced. It's sometimes a little expensive. But there's a connector here. You mash down on the tab after you disconnect your battery, and you unplug this. Okay? You want to unplug it by grabbing the connector itself. Don't grab the wires. You can pull out the wires from the connector. You can damage them inside the connector and you won't know it, and you can just be getting odd issues because you can plug this back in and then work fine, and a month later, you know, that's just acting up. Your pedals sometimes work, sometimes it don't. It'd be one little wire in that you tugged on inside the connector, that the pin that snaps and holds it in place, it works loose. It just backs out. It's making it connection sometimes it don't. But once you get that unplugged, it's pretty simple to remove this. You got 4 bolts. One here, one on this side, you can see it good, and one up here that's, well, 2 studs and 2 bolts. If you want to be technical. They are 10mm. You just want to take and whitey-tighty, lefty-loosey, and loosen them. Now, they shouldn't be all that tight. I mean, they got an O-ring behind it. Ugh. That one was a little tight. Let's see. Here we go. Ugh. That one wasn't. Here we go. Ugh. Now, this was a brand new throttle blade that was installed on this truck before the engine went down. So it might not be super new, but it's a good one. I do know that for a fact. The reason the engine was changed is the engine went down, you know, went knocking. That happens. Especially if you don't keep your oil changed. And you don't run good quality oil. And you go past due on your miles. When do you change your oil? What mileage? Are you the type of person that just changes it when you check it and it looks like it needs changed? Or do you actually go by mileage? Or do you go by the engine light? Let me know. That's what the comment section is for. Let's get a conversation started. Anyway, we take these out. And then it's ready to remove. You got it unplugged. It slides forward. It should not be wedged in there. It should come off easy. If you're trying to tighten this and it's not going easy, then you got a bent stud or something. Fix it, because you can crack the aluminum or the intake. So it should just slide off. That's the O-ring I was talking about. You don't over tighten these, because that's what this is for. And it's normal to see oil in the intake. That's the LS thing. You know, they set up loose, and sometimes the PVC goes bad and oil bypasses it and it goes into the intake. It's burned out the exhaust. That's how it is. You know, if you use a quart of oil in between oil changes, that's normal. Don't let nobody tell you it's not. Anyhow, this is your throttle body once removed. It's pretty common. You know, it's GM. It's got the motor in it. You can hear it. This one's good. But they just go bad. Pedals go bad. Electronics go bad. Bad design from Chevy. Why would you go with electronic throttle body on an engine when you've been using cables since small box Chevy? What was the first one? 1955, maybe. Why go to electronic throttle pedal? I'll tell you why. Less cost. You can make a motor. It's probably used in different things, and it's less cost to actually make a harness than it is to make maybe, you know, metal out of a cable. It's probably buys in bulk, and it's probably a lot cheaper, and it works better with the computer because, you know, as new cars get fancier, they get more complicated, and in my opinion, that's dumb. Eventually, everybody's going to wise up and quit buying these big fancy cars. That's when you drive them, you know, that if the window quit working, then the transmission don't shift because it's got a module that goes to this and this and this and this, and you got a sensor goes bad, you got to pull the whole truck, you know, cab up to change the sensor. That's just dumb. When you can just buy a pre-owned early 2000s, maybe 1970, 50, you know, 90s model cars. You know, the GM ones, usually the V8s, and Ford's V8 302s is good. And some of the newer, you know, older computer stuff like the 450 Mustangs, the GTs, and 46s, and stuff is good cars. They're pretty simple electronics to work on, but the newer stuff is just, you just throw money away. It's a car, in my opinion. You go pay $70,000, $60,000 for a car. It's a house payment. And if the electronic quit working, you go have it serviced and stuff. Maybe that's the way it is. Maybe I'm just raised poor. You know, maybe I just see value in being able to fix your own stuff. You know, that don't wake you up, that you can fix, like, let's just take a throttle cable. Okay? They could have used throttle cable. If it broke, you could drive home with a shoestring. This breaks, you don't drive home. You don't go anywhere. There's no place to make it work with a cable. Your computer will not accept it. It will not deliver fuel. It's just not in it. So if you do an AOS swap, and you're watching this video because you might want to do electronic throttle versus cable, I can personally tell you I would not use any of my AOS swaps unless I got the whole setup and then I just don't plan on driving it on long trips. Then maybe. But most of my AOS swaps are cable driven, just because I like to maintain and have the drivability and ease of parts. This is not an easy part to come by. Most parts stores will not have it, and if they do, it's going to be very expensive. And you're not going to find it on the side of the road. So that's just me rambling on. Hopefully you found this video helpful. Drop a like, leave a comment, get subscribed if you're new, and more content coming soon. I got to repair this intake, and wow, it's been a busy month, let me tell you. Thanks for watching.